What's up guys, Drew here with another Tone Talk, and today I'm going to be answering the question, is 6 blocks enough on the HX Stomp? And now this is good for you if you're looking into the HX Stomp or you already have it. Now before I answer that question, first off, I think if you're using the HX Stomp by itself or with other pedals, you should definitely invest into a switcher like the Analog Endeavor switcher that I have. It's just 2 buttons, TRS cable, and it works amazing. It's not that you can't get around the HX Stomp without it. It's a little clunky with just the 3 switches, so I highly recommend getting something like that. And I even recommend more so to get the Analog Endeavors one. It's really clean. The switches are even quieter than the HX Stomp. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know I've kind of poked around with this question before, and my answer has always been not a resounding yes or no, but kind of a mixture of the two. And the reason I can't say no is because I have to say yes. If you ask me to just get by with only the HX Stomp, I could totally do it. And I'd have amazing sounds too. The only problem is it gets a little crowded, and you have to start being very creative with the block assignment and the preset and patch building and the way you set up your snapshots. It takes a lot of work on the back end before you even get on stage to get the sounds shaped how you want them and how you need them for each part of the songs. Now if I were going to do this, I would have like 2 overdrives, my amp, my IR, a delay, and a reverb. So that's the 6 blocks right there. And I could do a lot with that, utilizing the snapshots on the 3 buttons, and then on my Analog Endeavors, just either have the bypass of the overdrives on those 2 switches, so that way I can have the 3 switches on the stomps, utilizing the snapshot feature for reverbs and delays. And then obviously on top of that, I would be getting my tap tempos set in per the song. Now with this, you can do a lot. You can get a lot of different tones and set up the snapshots how you need to, the reverbs to be as small or big and ambient as you need, and then the delays to either turn off or be short, long, dotted eighth, whatever. But where the problem comes in is you're very limited. Like let's say you wanted some modulation or something like that, and you just wouldn't be able to do it because you're either sacrificing reverbs, delays, or an overdrive. And all the other stuff is kind of extra that may sound good and bring a lot of texture and uniqueness to the sounds that you're creating, but you just wouldn't have the room. And now the reason I would say no is because I'm the type of person, like a lot of people, that love an always-on compressor and then an always-on overdrive. I especially like an always-on overdrive with the HX Stomp, because the HX Stomp amp sounds amazing, but to me, having it on just a little bit more, with a little bit added breakup on top of the amp, it makes it more dynamic, more responsive to your playing. Like if I dig in, it's going to break up just a little bit more than it would had the overdrive been turned off. Now, is that a necessity? No, but I like it. It's a creature comfort that I rely on, where I can just kind of clean up my sound by softening my pick attack, or I can dig in and it'll break up just a little bit more than it would if it was just the guitar into the amp by itself. Now I'm going to jump into some sound samples just so you guys can kind of see exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so these are just some sound samples. So this is the compressor turned off, the Petty John turned off. This is just what I have built into here, and I was gonna redesign everything, but this is just a quick sample of like what I'm getting with just the HX Stomp. So over here on this first one, I have the delay. This is my digital delay, and then I have a tape delay over here, and then my reverb is actually assigned here, and when it's depressed, which the light is dim, then it's kind of a light reverb, and this is what it sounds like. So just I mean, it's there, but it's a lot more subtle than my washy reverb, which all I have to do is just press it again, the light comes on, and now it is the higher setting, which is like this. So yeah, a lot of decay on that. And then down here I have the overdrive mapped to this on the Analog Endeavors, and then I have my tap tempo, and I can access the tuner by holding it right there. So yeah, and then I just have this button on. It makes it a little bit easier to tap, but you don't need it. Anyways, this is just the clean sound, light reverb, no delays, no overdrive. overdrive. And then a little reverb, actually a lot of reverb. So here I have a quarter note delay, and then here I have the dotted eighth. So this would be that, and then the dotted eighth. And 1, 2, 3. Anyway, so I mean, I could do a lot more with just this, with just the HX Stomp. I could assign, you know, one delay to this, kind of like how I have the reverb, and then have it being depressed be my quarter note, and then when it's pressed in, it'll switch to a dotted eighth, or you know, and adjust a lot of parameters with that setup. But the way I'm using this is kind of like stomp boxes right now. So I have just the one overdrive. And like I said, I would have two in there, so I would have a little bit more versatility as far as gain. But that's just a quick little snapshot of what you would get just using the HX Stomp. Alright, so for this next part, I'm just going to be adding in the compression from the Jackson Audio, and then the Pettyjohn chime. I kind of set into I'd say a lower gain setting. And then just going to be mixing it with everything you already heard that's in the HX Stomp right now. Alright, so this is clean. Add some compression. I love that, man. I love that sound. It's just like a compressive pop that I always want there. And then now the Pettyjohn chime. Now, it's not overly emphasizing any gain or whatever, but it does add a little bit more breakup, a little bit more thickness to the notes, but it also cleans up really well, like this. Yeah, I'm loving it, man. It's just a great always on overdrive. If I need stuff to get like really clean, I don't want any type of hair on it, I'll just turn it off. But honestly, my amp's already kind of set to the dirtier side, I guess. Alright, this is a little bit more reverb. Actually, a lot of bit more reverb, let's be honest. yeah, so I mean, if you ask me to get away with just the HX Stomp, I could totally do it, but I just get so much more texture and depth and just complex tones adding pedals before it, and I love it, man. I'm loving the tones I'm getting. I'm trying out different things and experimenting. So alright guys, so I know it was a relatively quick video today, but I just wanted to kind of put it out there. I mean, a lot of people look at the limitations of the 6 blocks and say, oh well, it's not enough. To me, I'm essentially using 8 blocks, and I really think that if there would have been 8 blocks in here, it would have been perfect. And I know if they would have released it with 8, everyone would be like, oh, it's not enough, we need 10. But it is what it is, and to me it's not so much a limitation because I love pedals and it forces me to use other pedals paired with it. So in that regard, I enjoy adding pedals to the HX Stomp. I mean, I think that's why a lot of us got the HX Stomp in the first place, because unlike the Helix Floor or the LT, it does add that option to be put on a pedal board, and you can pair it with our beloved pedals, because we all know we love them, man. Whether it's for aesthetics or the sound or both, we love our pedals, and that's what we're allowed to do with the HX Stomp, and that's what I do here. And I've been able to kind of, with this new setup, condense it to just my compressor, my overdrive, and then the Analog Endeavors switcher, and the HX Stomp, and it's doing exactly what I needed to do and more.